good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wow. Hi, Ranger. Hi, Zon. Hi, Diabola. Was there anyone else? Oh, Velmo. Hi, Velmo. Oh, cough drops already. I should not have napped before stream, but you know, sometimes it happens accidentally. But oh my goodness. Feels like my head has been stuffed with cotton. What timeline is this? What Earth is this? Is this? Oh, what is it in DBZ? Universe 11, I think? Earth 69? I don't know the Marvel one. I'm pretty sure in DBZ where it's set in Universe 11. It's the one where you owe me lots of money? Get in line. You and the banks can fight over my corpse. You can have whatever they don't take. How's my day so far? Pretty good, otherwise. My brain's honks new me, but hey. I woke up at 6, not wanting to die too much. So I got up and that meant I was able to do everything for my routine early. Was still late though, because I'm terrible at leaving the house on time. That's my problem. Too much? Yeah, I didn't want to die too much. Just a little bit. You know, just a little bit. I was regretting my life just a little bit. Why are you so surprised? Have you never heard someone say, when they wake up early, they only want to die just a little bit? Oh, you must be friends with well-adjusted people then. Also, it's Universe 7 in DBZ, which makes a whole lot of sense because of the 7 Dragon Balls. Universe 11, we're like the bad guys or something. Chat, Zexu. To what do we owe this pleasure? This green square? Which is it very colorblind friendly? But hey. I'm sorry, it's okay. I'm not colorblind friendly, but it's something that's been in the forefront of my mind recently. I mean, I did have diversity training when I was doing journalism stuff, but also too in the corporate VTuber side of the industry, one of the companies, Nijisanji, just debuted some new people, and 2 out of the 4 are colorblind. So it's been the talk of the town recently. So seeing the green just made me realize, I'm like, oh yeah, colorblind people? It's not gonna fly. It's funny though, because you're watching a game with the 2 colorblind people in a collaboration with some non-colorblind people, and in the game they have colorblind assist on, which makes, I guess, everything black and white. So they keep talking about black this, white this, and then you're like, what are they talking about? And then you have to go to that person's stream and go, oh, wait, never mind. I get it. I work with someone that's color deficient. They ask you to fix colors on documents and stuff sometimes. Yeah. It's easier nowadays as well because of how easy it is to find the hex colors for stuff. So, like, you can at least be like, this is all great to me, but then you can look at the hex color and go like, okay, I know I know this is some kind of like yellow or whatever. Had a coworker who was red-green colorblind. She was a nurse, which is, I don't know, sort of terrifying. I don't know. Like, I don't know how essential it is to know colors in that profession. But I don't know, somehow I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that. Certainly interesting. I can't remember what kind of synesthesia she had, but I knew a friend of a friend who had some kind of synesthesia. Yes, Sexu? What? What? You said my name. What is it you wish? Nothing? I think he just likes pissing me off, guys. I think he likes being punished. Banning him, or sorry, timing him out when he's driving isn't enough anymore. Now he wants to be timed out just whenever. He's starting to enjoy it. I see. How very interesting. Oh, that's vertical sources. That's right. We want this one. Bloop. Well, bad kids never learn if they always get what they want, so I will just proceed to ignore you. Alright, it's time for Ace Attorney! Did anyone hear anything? I think the wind... Sorry if the wind's kind of loud. Hopefully my mic doesn't pick it up. Sounded like someone whining. I don't know. You make it so easy. All right, where is there's that. We need this. We need audio. Da 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 da. All right, resume from playing from this saved game data. We will indeed. But first, oh my god, what happened last time? Swiss rolls are apparently very, 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 very important to this case. Like $6 Swiss rolls, this is how we were able to establish that Gumshoe was not alone in the hallway because bro only got a $5 bonus. So we only had $5 on him, so we could not buy the $6 Swiss rolls. So he split money with a child. So he split it with a child who gave him $1. $5. Yeah, $5. I mean, that's $5 more than some people ever get. I mean, retail workers never get a bonus of any kind. Like, unless they get commission or something. So I mean, hey, it's $5. It's kind of like ouch, but not every job nowadays will actually give bonuses. Get commissions? Well, good for you. We weren't talking about you. We were talking about Detective Gumshoe. But yes. It is nice you get commissions. I have mixed feelings about commissions because as an introvert, I would never be able to push for sales. I'd be like, yeah, I'm good without commission. And then they would fire me because I'm not making them enough money. $5 is outrageous, I think. The implication is that his bonus is only $5 because he's been doing a bad job. But yeah, poor guy. You're still not adjusted? Yeah, it's a rough model. But yeah, so that happened to Gumshoe, and yes, now they're besties. So after all of that, we've basically established it's very likely Gumshoe's not the killer, but what's her name? Callisto Yu is still trying to insist that it was Gumshoe, so we're back to investigating. We gotta try and figure out what the heck is going on. So that's about where we were. Do you want game protection? Sure, it's only $1. Are you sure? At this point in time, the hassle it takes to get a replacement game cartridge is not worth it anymore. You know? Also, this looks like he's about to pull a piece on us. But as we've learned from the joke, he's just got a hand mirror in there he likes to take out and look at himself. during the recess. So you were in this room the entire recess? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. Big lug being Detective Gumshoe, rest in pieces. A local friendly chess competition? If I know anything from Queen's Gambit, is chess is not friendly. So I wish you luck. Good luck. I'm sure you'll do great. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Queen's Gambit, the only reason I ever tried chess. Fair enough. Oh no, rip. Oh, it's because you put .com in there. Yeah. Yes, the curse of the dot. Ranger Road. By friendly, I mean not an official chess tournament recorded or documented by chess.com. So yeah. Oh, that's fine. Such is life. But yeah. Understandable. I was just being silly, hee hee ha ha. But yeah. Never really had interest in trying chess in and of itself. Shogi and Go had some interest to me because those are at least those at least felt different because they're other cultures' version of chess. For a day. Zon gave up before he even went anywhere. It's okay. I had like a passing interest when I was very young. But the only person I knew around me who knew chess at all was Papa Melis, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing with you. I'm not letting you teach me because I know you would be condescending. I don't have that thing that lets me plan ahead more than one move. Oh, foresight? I guess calculation's another word for it. Foresight is also a good one. It's true though, some people do have a hard time either visualizing the board or just straight up like thinking logically in that way. I can see pretty far in the future. That's cool. Now the question, do you actually see stuff in your mind or are you just thinking? It's like that puzzle, roughly around 20 moves? Sheesh! That's pretty good for a casual, like a non-professional. It's both? Interesting. I only ask because, like, you know, when people did that exercise, that's like, oh, like, when you think of an apple, like, do you just think of the concept of an apple, or do you, like, picture an apple in your mind when you, like, hear the word apple or something like that? And a lot of people I know I learned can't visualize stuff at all. They don't have like a rich inner world. Versus me and Iduna were like, what are you talking about? We see everything in excruciating detail when we think. That's why we have anxiety. Kind of crazy to think about not being able to visualize it all. Yeah. Raora, the VTuber. It's interesting for her because apparently she can't visualize that stuff at all, and yet she's an artist. So it's like, oh, I wouldn't have thought about artists not being good at like visualizing stuff like that. But I guess it takes all types. 20 seconds is nothing? Well, yeah, that's why I said for a non-professional. Like, for the average person, 20 moves is insane. Yes, for, I know professional chess players are inhuman. But considering for most people it's hard to even think 5 steps ahead in a conversation, 20 moves in chess is crazy. I'm not the average person. Alright, someone get a pin to pop this man's ego. I didn't mean there's people who start playing at like 5, so I get it. But yes, the average person doesn't know. We're talking about the average moon being here. Not the one that's cloned himself and played himself probably 50 times, and that's how he got so good at chess. Yeah, I did see that. Damn. Some people, microplastics in their brain make them geniuses. For me, it just gives me anxiety. Earlier, you stated you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival can make a queen out of the microplastics in your brain, queen don't cry. When I was scrolling through my Bluesky, watching clips of me that I had posted, I saw when Freed did like the edit of like the Queen Don't Cry meme using me. Oh, that was beautiful. Oops, hang on. I accidentally clicked too much. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations. Okay. I guess I am. You guess? Well, I'm out. See you later. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, oh boy. What now, Miss Francisca? She seems to have a great dislike for you. Damn. She really went there, huh? Oof. Shots fired. Shots fired. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain is it simply because you failed to guard Cece. Oh, Cece. Oh, Cece. But because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew. I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Phoenix Wright Games have a case that doesn't involve some kind of alphanumerical sorting code. Challenge failed. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me. No, thank you. You told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday. And the KG8 incident. Sometimes I wish they didn't stall out the sentences like that. I'm like, I had no idea where this was going, but okay, fine. Huh. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell ya. Thank you. Yes? Jambola? What the dots? Alright, KG8 incident. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear about what I'm about to tell you. Look. I was gonna say it's a lollipop. It looks like he's smoking, but it's a lollipop. I knew it. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you, and I. You got that One Piece thing going on? Oh, in the dub? Yeah. Because in the actual original anime in Japan, and once 4Kids stopped dubbing it, Sanji is actually just smoking, from what I recall. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trial of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Yeah, don't you hate it when key witnesses get murdered by corporations to shut people up? terrible. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devore. In case you forgot, this is taking place in the past, so all the revelations about Colin and his daughter and the mono group and all stuff, that hasn't happened yet. You gotta give that like 7 more years. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. The boss man of the mono group? Yeah, you know him. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. It's like, he can't be a bad guy. My mentor is friends with that guy. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? Oops. Sorry, I accidentally, brushed the mic with my sweater. I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU Manny Kochin was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. Oh, don't let Kay hear that. She's gonna kick your butt again. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well. About how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. Bro got shot at by a Gatling gun. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But damn, only half? That's still a lot. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. Also, it's good for intimidation. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom. The victim's sister. That's when I met Callisto Yu, a relation to you. Not me, not you. Y-E-W, like the sheep. About when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes, Faraday and I, we apologize to her from the bottoms of our heart. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Damn. I mean, she's not wrong, but yikes. She certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at a slap. I guess. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. Edgeworth probably had a real hard time. I guess she did have a whip. She did not have a whip. She only had her fist. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again, and yet here she is! But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. A real Tom and Jerry scenario, you know. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It does seem pretty sizable, like. I was in pursuit. It was in the pursuit of the rain that we met you once again. Ah, yes, the rain. The one rain to unite them all. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. And boy, what a mess that was! Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Look, she's a weird lady, don't question it. It's better not to think too hard about, this one. You'll just hurt your head. How's the lawyering going? It's a-going. How you doing? How you been? Yeah. Well, you was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. And Andrew, right on. Only played the first game in the... Never got into the series? Oh, very nice. Corporal hype? Yahoo! hooray for new jobs. But at the same time, it's like, I also started a new job this month. Lots of changes happening in the spring. Go figure. Sometimes the world decides to just do its own thing without you, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm along for the ride, aren't I? Just like, whee! Don't rock the boat, keep sailing. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much all you can do. That's where you're at. Good luck on my end. Thank you. I shall do my best. I cannot be stopped. Something. We just keep on rowing and rowing and rowing and yeah. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Improvise, adapt, cry, overcome. Let's go! Pretty solid strategy, I would say. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to that effect. So yeah, since you don't know Ace Attorney that well, this is the 4th game in the series chronologically. So we finished the first 3 Ace Attorneys. So Ace Attorney 1, and then Justice for All, and then Trials and Tribulations. And then they came out with a 2-game series that has you play as Edgeworth instead of Phoenix. And those take place chronologically right after the 3rd game in the series. So I was like, you know what? Let's do that. So that's where we are. Plus, I've never been able to play this particular one. What does Apollo get in the mix? He gets in the mix in the 6th game chronologically. So the Ace Attorney Investigations is kind of like a side thing that doesn't really get mentioned in quote-unquote the mainline series. So technically, Apollo gets involved in the 4th Ace Attorney game, but it's the 6th one chronologically. Because it happens after a big time skip. Yeah, the 6th, 7th, and 8th games chronologically are like about Phoenix with like an actual law firm. Like he's actually got lawyers working with him and under him at that point. Instead of it just being him and Maya like flying by the seat of their pants. Are they all psychics too? Every character has a gimmick, but they're not all psychics. So Nick got the Magatama from Maya and had access to the spirit channeling through Maya. Apollo has a bracelet. I forget exactly how it works, but it's made out of some like mystical metal that when someone lies in its vicinity, it shrinks. So he can, when someone's lying to him in court, he can tell because all of a sudden his bracelet starts like choking his arm. Yeah, it's weird. I don't remember exactly how it works. It's been so long since I've played the Apollo Justice trilogy. I can't tell you specifically how it works. So yeah, it's like he can tell that they're lying, and then he pays attention to people's micro expressions and their body language, and eventually he finds the lies that way. His partner in crime is Trucy, who is Nick's adopted daughter, and she's a magician. Like, not like, so you go from Maya the psychic to a sleight of hand girl, basically. And then the last lawyer who joins the crew, like a stage magician, correct. So she does help out Apollo in that way. And like, her personality is similar-ish to Maya. I would argue she's a little bit smarter because, I mean, she's a stage magician. You gotta be decently competent to be a stage magician. And the last person who joins the crew is Athena. And her whole thing is she has a little AI necklace. Like, it's a little, like, AI personality in the necklace. And it helps her pay attention to people's micro expressions. So she can figure out their lies and, like, stuff based on their emotional reactions. And so, if someone's, like, depressed, you can counter it and, like, stuff like that. Her and Apollo have, like, they had, like, a real cat and dog, like, relationship for a while. Like, they were rivals kind of thing. And then, yeah, in the prequel games, because after all of this, they decided to make a prequel series about Phoenix's ancestor from, like, the Meiji era, who goes to study law in England on an exchange and lives in Sherlock Holmes' attic. Which was fun, but yeah, that one looked nice. Yes, I really love that one. I only played the first one in that one. So we're gonna go back eventually, because I started that one back when I first started streaming 2 years ago. But at that time, I didn't have the vocal cord strength to really keep up with the game, where I had to read all of the dialogue, so I ended up dropping it at the time. But now I can yap for hours on end, so we're getting back around to some of the older stuff I had to drop because I just couldn't handle it at the time. You wouldn't have guessed you can yap all the VNs? Thank you! It's like, I can yap now, but it's like I had to, like, train myself to learn how to speak in a way that didn't strain my throat. Because, like, volume control and, like, if you whisper, that's actually hard on your throat and, like, all that stuff. Turns out coffee, I found out, really bad for your throat. So I had to slowly cut down on caffeine. Dairy, very bad for your throat as well. I still have dairy sometimes, so if you ever come into her stream and you're like, why does Diana sound sick? Either I do actually have a cold, or it's because I had dairy within a couple hours of stream. Caffeine in general, right? Correct. Caffeine in general. It's one of those things, it's like, there's no way that can't be true. And then, like, I did, like, an experiment for a week where I reduced my caffeine consumption by, like, one cup for a week. And then I went back to it the next week, and I'm like, even just that 1 cup reduction made a huge difference. I'm like, oh, God, okay, fine. It's like, I guess, brutal, right? I'm like, I guess the vocal coaches and, like, the singing doctors that, like, know what they're talking about. Because, I mean, like, you see stuff on YouTube, and, like, I take everything with a grain of salt to be safe. I'm like, no way, that can't be true. And I'm like, okay, fine, you knew what you were talking about. Blah, 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 blah. And plus, when I started, I didn't really realize the importance of doing a warm-up. Before streaming, because, like, I always just thought of warm-ups as being for singing. And then I started doing it for before stream as well. Same with the coughing. I'm like, okay, yeah, it helps. Ma. So the combination of all of that stuff has eventually led to the point 2 years down the line, I can yap for, like, you know, like 10 or whatever hours and be okay. Somewhere around when because I did 1 super long stream, somewhere around it was somewhere around like 14 out, like hour 12, I really started struggling. But yeah, I keep cough drops with me at my desk when I'm streaming these types of games as well, because that obviously helps a lot as well. Yuri wrote a book? Nice! Yeah, he would know. I think he's more of a director and producer now, less a voice actor, but yeah, he would know. Because yeah, even just like a 5-minute warm-up where you're like, just like, you know, like the Terra Platt, that's right. Yeah, it's like, apparently even just humming can help if, like, that's all you can manage. It's kind of like I think, like, the ideal way to do it is you start with humming and then you get into, like, the sound vocalizations. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Blah, 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 blah. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Okay. Okay, ma'am. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. Alright, guys. Yeah, kind of makes sense from an outside perspective. Make yourself able to yap or just yap a bit before starting. It does make sense. And it was one of those things I didn't think about, especially when I was still working from home. Because, you know, yeah, if you're in an office, you might at least say hi to people. But when you're home alone or whatever, you don't talk the whole day, and then you try and talk for 5 hours. Yeah, your throat's like, what have you done? True, right? Yeah. Stuff you don't think about. Alright, it's ad break. I'm gonna use this opportunity to run to the bathroom. And then we will be right back and we will continue yapping and also lawyering and all of that good stuff. So be right back. Hello, I'm back. Thanks for the explanation of the lore, of course. But yeah. So basically, this game, the first Ace Attorney Investigations game got localized. The second one didn't. And even then, the Ace Attorney Investigation games weren't, like, super popular. So yeah, I never got the opportunity to play these. And then they re-released them as, like, a remastered version. I'm like, finally! I can play this! And now we've got Francisca von Karma and Edgeworth who are like, wow, defense lawyers? Scums of the earth. I can't believe you would help a criminal. Like, the justice system only works because there's both defense and prosecution. Otherwise, you're just living in a, like... I don't think dictatorship is quite the correct word, but at that point, it's like, if you don't have defense attorneys, it's like, oh, well, off with their head. It's like a rigged trial. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. Rip. How dare you insult the daughter of a von Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. To be fair, in Japan, isn't the conviction rate high because the trial won't usually happen unless it's a slam dunk? I think that's a part of it, and also because of... I know there's the perception. Like, it's essentially like a stereotype against the population themselves that the Japanese people have of themselves. that if you're living a good life and minding your own business and like being a good citizen, there should never be an opportunity where you would be falsely accused of a crime. So if the police accuse you and arrest you, that you gotta have done it, because there's no way otherwise. So that's like a part of it as well, and that's also why the conviction rate is so high, yeah. It's the combination of that perception that if you got arrested, you have to be guilty because there's no way, there's no other reason you would ever be suspected unless you actually did the crime and like all that stuff. Yeah, that seems like the Francisca mindset. Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it's like, if we think of it objectively, yeah, I get it. It makes sense in the fact that it's like, yeah, if you're living a good life and you don't get involved in, like, bad situations, there's no reason you would ever be arrested, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you can run with the wrong crowd and get, like, you know, caught up in something and not have actually done the crime you're being arrested for. Like, that is a thing. It's like, you made the argument that, like, you know, good people don't get arrested might have a tiny bit of validity, but the fact of the matter is, just because you're not a great person doesn't mean you committed, like, the crime kind of thing. Plus, like, you know, so many kids shoplift when they're, like, young and they don't fully understand the consequences kind of thing. Some people do go on to become, like, you know, career shoplifters or, like, forge checks or whatever. A lot of people, they were like, yeah, my mom marched me up back to the cash register and made me apologize, and I got grounded for 2 weeks, and that was enough. I never shoplifted again. There was a good interview from a law school prof that said you're guilty as soon as you're the defendant. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, I would say. Most kids just grow out of it. Yeah, a lot do. And I mean, like, that all comes into circumstances and everything else. I knew a woman that just did it for adrenaline. God, yeah, I know what you mean. And some people with bad upbringings, like, they just don't really get it. I remember in university, what was it? I think it was a roommate I had at the time. No, it was a friend, and we're still friends, so I will withhold their name. In case they're watching and they're like, why are you airing out my dirty secrets? But it was like, yeah, like, we were at a store or something like that, and, like, they had, like, the Pokemon cards in the sealed packs, or, like, Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something like that. And my friends started, like, picking at the packaging to see if she could, like, get, like, the plastics, like, you know, like, that bubble off. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I was gonna get the cards. They're so expensive. I'm like, no. Like, if you do that, I am legitimately ratting you out. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm not... And they're like, well, it's just, like, whatever. I'm like, I'm not being complicit as you steal stuff. Because if you get caught, and I'm gonna get in trouble, too. Dang, yeah. And I mean, I had a near incident like that when I was 8, where there was, like, a bracelet that came with, like, a VHS tape that I really wanted it, but Mama and Melis wouldn't buy it for me, and, like, it was just plastic wrap added, and I kept, like, scratching at it a little bit, and I was like, nope, won't do it, because I had my own. I was like, what was it? I think I was like 4 at the time. I had my own, like, quote unquote, it was technically it was technically stealing. I didn't fully, I was 4 years old, so I didn't understand that at the time. There was a book, like, remember, like, that Scholastic? Like, they would send flyers, and, like, your family could, like, you know, check stuff off, right? Like, whatever. Like, write a check and you could get some books. How... Exactly, like, how could you know? And, like, there was one I really wanted, and Mama and Melis said no, and I had decided, like, oh, I'm just gonna take one from the stack then, when it comes in. So, like, you know, I put my backpack close to the table where I knew the teacher was gonna offload the stuff. And at some point, like, you know, I was like, oh, can I, like, at least, like, look at this kind of thing? And they were like, yeah, sure. As, like, you know, they're, like, sorting everything else out or whatever. Or, like, something like that. I don't remember how I managed to get it in my backpack without noticing. And I think, surely they must have known. But, like, it was, like, I think it was at that time and place where they couldn't actually force the kids to let them investigate their bags and stuff like that. Like, before, you know, like, laws and all that stuff changed, when, like, you know, privacy was, like, a little more what have you. I'm like, they must have known. I'm like, there's no way a 4-year-old pulled all the wool over, like, an entire class and an adult. But yeah, so I did that, and at first I didn't think anything of it. And then the teacher starts panicking because there's not enough books. And then she's on the phone with, like, you know, whoever trying to find out if they sent the right number of books. And then whatever kid didn't get their book was really upset. And then it finally hit me. I'm like, oh, if I take this, all of this other stuff happens and all these people get in trouble and get upset. But I was too scared to fess up to it, even after the teacher, like, asked. Because, I mean, literally, you ask a whole class of people to say if, like, they've seen the book or whatever. What 4-year-old is going to come forward in front of 20 of their peers and say that? But I'm like, they must have known. But, like, again, how do you prove it? So Mama and Melis probably just, like, paid for it on the side or something. And apparently I am a terrible, terrible liar. Every time I thought I hid something from my parents and I told them about it, like, 10 years later as a teenager, they're like, yeah, we knew. So surely they knew about it. Surely my mom had to pay something on the side, and she's like, well, she's 4 years old. We're not gonna, like, ground her or anything like that. It's like the consequences of the actions have clearly been weighing upon her, we can tell. Arrest that thief. But yeah, that was my own incident with it, and just good lesson to learn, though. Absolutely. But yeah, it's crazy because that happened when I was 4, like, decades ago. And just that guilt was enough to keep me on the straight and narrow for the rest of my life. My parents are probably like, damn, we raised that one good. But yeah, case in point. Innocent kid makes bad decision. Was like, no, never again, never again, never again. Other people, if it works, it works. Pretty much, yeah. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman. You know, you gotta wiggle in between all the laws, find the loopholes, be like a sneaky snake.
Bad's like, we're in for a rough time here. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. So true. Because, I mean, it's like... I'm trying to think how to put it. Because it's like, yeah, over years in law enforcement, you learn it's like, yeah, the law's not perfect. But on the other hand, the fact that the law exists at all is enough to keep most people in line. So if we don't honor the law, then, like, you know, everyone suffers at that point. They don't know the stuff behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean, Francisca's 13 years old, and I mean, in the lore of the series, she became like the youngest prosecutor ever at 13. So like, okay, whatever. 13, yeah, she's crazy young. But of course, you know, in the context of the series, she became a genius. She's what now? Francisca? Right now, in this case, she's 13. And then Edgeworth, he's about to have today was supposed to be his first day as an acting prosecutor. So this was going to be his very first case. But, like, you know, the people involved got murdered. Thought she was the same age as Edgeworth. Nope. She's younger. And that's why it's so funny that she keeps going, Miles, you're my little brother. It's like, yeah, your little brother who's 6 years older than you. A 13-year-old lawyer prodigy. And she got her degrees, like, and her license in Germany. But yeah, see? 13. And, like, Dick is 26 in this, and he's, like, 32. So, like, this is, like, 7 years in the past. Someone tell that kid to stop whipping people? Literally. It's insane. That's why I'm like, why doesn't anyone just take this from her? Like, y'all? But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. She's the daughter of the villain of the first game. Correct. She is indeed. That is... So Francisca is the daughter of Manfred von Karma. And so, like, both Edgeworth, was, like, raised, mentored, whatever, by, von Karma. Because when Edgeworth's dad died, apparently Von Karma took him in instead of, like, you know, relatives or whatever. I don't know. They never explain exactly how it works. But yeah, Edgeworth was under Von Karma's tutelage. And then, yeah, Francisca's like, oh, you're my little brother now. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Are we allowed to spoil game 1? Yeah. I mean, we did play it on the channel. It was about a year ago, so some people might not have played it. But it's like, at this point, you're coming into the 4th game in a series. So, like, some knowledge is to be... I think at that point, it's impossible to completely avoid spoilers, especially when past characters come back. Yes, you are correct. That is exactly what happened. Which makes the whole situation even more fucked up. Like, oh yeah, you, cause like, it's like, oh yeah, you got a penalty imposed on my record because you managed to prove that I mishandled evidence. I had this serendipitous opportunity to kill you, so I did. And now I'm raising your son to be the kind of person you would have hated. Like, damn. Like, it's not that big a deal. It was coincidence, I think. I think the idea came to him after the murder, because the murder itself was coincidence. That's why I said it was like serendipitous, because, you know, it was one of those things, it's like, just so happened the power went out. It just so happened that the elevator Edgeworth and his father was in stopped outside this particular floor. It just so happened that Von Karma was in the hallway, like the elevator lobby. It just so happened that, after like a scuffle, the security guard's gun discharged by accident. It just so happened that I went through the door and like all of that stuff. Like, so like the perfect opportunity just like presented himself, because it's like, oh yeah, power comes back on, elevator doors open, his enemy is passed out on the floor from oxygen deprivation, there's a gun laying at like right in front of the door, so he just picks it up and goes poof. Might as well, exactly. It's like, I got shot because of you. I have a penalty on my record now, my perfect spotless 40-year record. Die, you son of a bitch. That was his motive, literally. And easy to forget, but Japan still has capital punishment, and not just capital punishment. The death penalty in Japan is still carried out by hanging. So as far as, like, it's implied by the third game, based off Franziska's dialogue, that Von Karma has been put to death and he was hung. So, like, yeah, he did. Yeah, in the third game, they finally addressed that. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, all of those people you got convicted of murder, yeah, they're on death row, awaiting their sentencing, and or they're already dead. Because that was a whole plot in the third game involving a conspiracy theory with like ghosts and spirit mediums and all that stuff. But yeah, so it's like, oh, yay! So yeah, it's easy to forget, but it's like, oh, that's right! Japan still kills people for killing people. Dang, that's heavy. Oh yeah, the games are great. I mean, the first one's really solid. Unfortunately, the second one is probably the weakest in the series. Like, it has some of the least liked cases, but it also has my favorite case. So it was just a weird entry overall, but the third Phoenix Wright game is considered the best in the franchise by most people. I think I started it and dropped it. Understandable. The second one's really hard to get through, honestly. When we were replaying it on stream, and like the amount of times Chad was like, these are all terrible people. They all need to go to jail. I'm like, I know. Just hang in there. The case is almost done. Because there was a whole case where it was like, oh yeah, Regina Barry, star of the circus. This 22-year-old is thirsting for her. This 25-year-old is thirsting for her. This 32-year-old is thirsting for her. And we're like, stop! All of you go to jail! yeah, no, it was bad. Like, that was a turnabout. Ringtop is considered the worst case in the franchise. For many, many reasons. That is one of them. But then, like I said, and it also sucks because my favorite case in this series is in that game because it has a really good twist. Because, like, you know, the whole series, everyone's like, how can you believe so, like, blindly? Like, and Nick was like, you know, like, I can only defend my clients if I convince myself that they're not guilty. And then finally he's presented with a situation where it's like, by the way, yeah, your client isn't innocent. They've confessed. What are you gonna do now? Like, are you going to uphold your morals and make sure the correct punishment is dealt out? Or are you going to be the cowardly defense lawyer who only thinks of his perfect win record and do everything in your power to get this person acquitted, even though you know they've done the crime because they literally told you? So yes, the writing in Phoenix Wright can get really good, and then sometimes it's just... it ain't perfect. I've known Kay since the day she was born. Aww, cute. That sounds solid. It is. That's why I encourage anyone who has the patience and the interest in the Phoenix Wright series to give it a try. Because it's like, yeah, like any game, it has its low moments, but the high moments are very good in my opinion. I mean, not that many games end up having literally 9 entries in the series. Like, let's be real about that. Like, regardless of how people feel about, like, you know, adventure games and, like, you know, lots of reading or whatever else, I'm like, there's 9 games in the series. There aren't that many series that have that many entries. Especially plot-heavy ones that have lore that connects from game 1 all the way to game 9. Like, there's actually very few continuity errors in this series, which is really impressive. Considering the first game came out in, like, 2001, and the last, and, like, the latest ones were, like, 2018? No, was it 2018? No, it was, like, 2014 or something, but yeah. Zero Escape is also fantastic, yes. Zero Escape and Ace Attorney are very similar types of games, but Ace Attorney is overall a lot more lighthearted because of all the jokes and the puns and stuff. Wasn't there a live-action movie too for Ace Attorney? There sure was! And it is the best kind of ham acting. Was it good? I would say it was pretty decent. Yeah, it was surprisingly good from what I remember. Like, they had some really good moments. Like, they really condensed, they had to really condense all the cases. And, like, they cut out any of the cases that didn't connect to the overarching plot of the first game. But it was really great. I'm hearing potential watch-along candidate. God, if we could find it, absolutely. But yes, 1000% they nailed the hair. And the courtroom scenes are always so great because people are dressed up so crazy in the back. Like, there's like a full-on gothic Lolita in her full regalia in the back. In one of the trials, I remember distinctly. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And I mean, you spend the whole game laughing at the comedy and like the ridiculousness and stuff like that, and then like, you know, you get to some of the serious stuff and they nail that so perfectly. So yeah, it was great. It was surprisingly good. Probably one of the only times an adaptation of like an anime or a game like was actually worth it. The Rurouni Kenshin movies were also good, but unfortunately, you know, Rurouni Kenshin tainted because of all the stuff that came out about the author. But yeah, I saw the first Rurouni Kenshin movie before all that came out, and it was really good. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu. The pre-Netflix live-action movies? Yes! Yes. Oh, for Death Note. Those I heard were really good, yes. Those are kind of like infamous for like the way they changed like the ending and some stuff. Added like a whole new love interest for like random reasons. No one. They got L perfect though? I do remember that. Absolutely. Related to that, one of my favorite ASMRs someone did was like an L one where he's like, you know, working. So you get the typing sounds and candy noises and stuff like that. But they nail his posture perfectly in that one too. And I'm like, shush! That's kind of genius, right? They also did Light as part of that as well, where he's going through like a big dictionary and he's studying and stuff like that. Worked really, really well. This dude is really good. He also did a JoJo's Bizarre Adventures inspired one. Because Rohan in part 4, his power is basically to turn you into like a book / manga, and he can read all your secrets and stuff like that. And so he found a way to like do the book thing from the perspective of the camera, so it looks like he's flipping the pages of like your face. And I'm like, some ASMR people are like, it's like, for me, sometimes it's not even about the noises now. I'm just like, dang, the amount of work you put into this is like a production. I'm invested in the plot? Literally. Oh, Kudum! Hello! Thank you for the raid. Hi! Hello, everybody! Welcome! We are playing Ace Attorney Investigations and also yapping about a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like at this point we're more yapping than playing the game. Hello! Hi, Zero! Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome on in! If you've got to, sorry? Don't be sorry. One thing you should know about me is it don't take much for me to go off on a tangent and start yapping. Chat assures me they love when I go on tangents and yap about stuff, but I swear some people are like, oh god, here she goes again. It's like, will she remember the game exists? Enough sidetracking. Back to the game 25 minutes ago. Yes. And then it got sidetracked again. I said this last week while I was playing Atelier Yumiya. I'm like, it's always the chilled games. I just start talking about whatever pops into my head. And I'm like, and sometimes we get some really interesting conversations out of it. Even if it's like, why on earth are we talking about this? I still bring out the coffee Jason for Godot. Ah, yes. Good old Godot. Oh yeah, no, the music for the series is fantastic. I believe they keep the same composer throughout the series, and every game they do little changes to some of like the classic songs, like the Turnabout song, like, you know, that piece that happens when you start cornering the person in court. Every game they do like a new rendition of it, just like, you know, like the Final Fantasy VII or like the Final Fantasy Victory theme. But yeah, no, the music for this series is fantastic. I was literally listening to a playlist of it while I was at the apothecary today. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. Transformers, more than meets the eye. No, the music in Ace Attorney is fantastic. Oh, I can't remember who does it off the top of my head, but yeah, he's great. Autobots, something, the Decepticons. Iduna, my bestie IRL, who's also a mod in the channel who pops in occasionally to participate. She swears she's usually just watching in the background, she's lurking. But yeah, she and her partner Ace love Transformers. I literally went to their place recently and I looked up at their shelf and I was like, okay, there's this, that, and then some huge ass statues of Optimus Prime and like other, oh my god, Megatron, that's it. I'm like, how am I forgetting his name? But yeah, I was like, damn, okay. They're like, yeah, we have to put him way up there for the cats. I'm like, bleh. Did they talk your ear off with the anime and movies? Oh, absolutely. Her current hyperfixation is Sonic. So and especially Shadow. So yeah, I have not stopped hearing about the movies or anything else for the past like months or whatever. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murder's intent towards Faraday and Rel. They're fun movies? Oh, for sure. It's just funny because, yeah, just all of a sudden that became our hyperfixation 2 years ago and it has not stopped. And I'm like, girl, I'm happy for you, but when are you going back to anime? It's like, you know, when a friend gets into something new and you're like, I don't know how to relate to this anymore. Are you going to introduce her to cursed Sonic lore? I'm pretty sure she already knows. I started calling her a furry, and at first she was like, no, I'm not a furry, and now she's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, oh, well, now there's no going back for you then. I'm like, if you've accepted it at that point, I'm like, power on, girl. Just don't share that stuff with me. I wonder if Sonic Unleashed recompilation? Maybe, probably. I'll mention it to her. A lot of the time she knows this stuff before I do and she just doesn't mention it. But it never hurts. As long as she's happy, oh, absolutely. I mean, her partner drove her 2 hours to go pick up a used version of one of the older Sonic games that someone was, like, selling somewhere. And I'm like, now that's love right there. Dang, yeah, for real? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always joke. I'm like, you know what? Ace can stay. Ace is a good guy. I'm like, if there's gonna be a last man on Earth, Ace can stay. He's a good guy. He's a good egg. I consider him like a brother because I've known both him and Iduna for 14 years at this point, so yeah. The KT8 incident and the second KT8 incident. Holy moly. Oh yeah! A ride or die friend? Pretty much, yeah. I swear, like, my brain was like, I've known Iduna for 10 years, and then Iduna's like, Dee Dee, no, sweetie. It's 14. I'm like, oh my god, you're right! And we still talk almost every day. Spam detected, sniper rifle engaged. Time keeps on slipping. Oh god, it's so true. Time just keeps flying by. The witness who was to testify about the rain was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ. And that is the absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, Yatagarasu. Lifelong friends are hard to come by? Absolutely. And I mean, it feels like if we had met nowadays with how, like, people are so quick to block others and stuff, we might not still be friends, but, like, anytime we had disagreements or problems, we worked through it. Which is how, like, we're still able to be good friends after all these years. Now it's like, you just hear about people getting ghosted and stuff like that. It's like, Dane! What happened to having a heart-to-heart conversation about someone? It's like, you hurt my feelings. Can we make it so you don't do that again? Mr. Rowe claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. And then, during the recess, they were both killed. Yeah, that's a little suspicious. Healthy communication in this economy? Crazy. Could it be me? Everyone's too scared of emotional intimacy, and I mean, valid. It can make it really hard to get out there and expose yourself to people, but then you don't get any of the benefits. Blah, 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 blah. Mouse Edgeworth, stop being around the bush and just spit it out already! Or she's gonna hit you with the whip. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? Whipping is easier and quicker. also more illegal. I mean, who am I to say anything, but I'm like, I don't know, if a 13-year-old kept whipping people, I would still pursue some kind of action. I don't know about legal action here, but like at least take the damn thing from her. Like, especially in a courthouse. How do you get a weapon into the courthouse? I mean, like, I haven't been in a courthouses that often, but I have been there when I had to do, like, court reporting when I was in journalism school, and then also the 2 times I got called for jury selection, and, like, they do bag checks. They have scanners. They make you go through metal detectors. I'm like, how did she get this into the courthouse? Just name power, I assume? Probably. Which is the worst. If it will help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. She's like, whip first, ask questions later. Ow! It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be 1 step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. I like the grizzled design with the lollipop, right? The other great moment with him is he'll look really intense and he'll reach into his jacket, and even Edgeworth's like, oh my god, he's gonna pull the gun on me. And he pulls out a mirror and just starts looking at his reflection. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Yeah, the whole juxtaposition with Detective Bads is like, you know, he looks like a grizzled, terrifying cop, but he's actually a softie kind of thing. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape. Never tries to draw anyone's attention. And would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. Yeah, see, it's this expression. Oh, he did pull out the mirror this time. But yeah, usually when he does that, he'll pull the mirror out. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl. I'm not done talking yet. Damn. He's like, girl, just shut up and let me finish. Got him! Nailed it! What's different about this time was that the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. Ah, yes, the calling card. No phantom thief worth their salt can do anything without a calling card. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. And when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. And that's how Detective Bat knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. You know, the calling cards make great little pieces for a detective story, but IRL, that's just a good way to get yourself caught. Because it's like, you can trace that stuff. You can figure out what printer printed it if you printed them at home. You can, you can, go to all the card shops, printing services in town, figure out if anyone printed this, all that stuff. Ace Attorney movie is 89 cents to rent on Amazon. Very nice. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Presumably there's cameras around? Yeah, this takes place in, the sort of future? The near future kind of thing? The first case in the first game was, 2017? I think is when it took place. So this was happening before that, so this was probably the 2010s. It seemed pretty modern. It is. It just created some hilarious situations where they were like, oh yeah, it's 2026, but no one has heard of a smartphone. So it's the past written to be the future, but now is the past correct. Because, yeah, Edgeworth and Nick were born in, 2001 or something like that. Da 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 da. Retrofuturism? Pretty much, yeah. Because when the game was created in 2001, flip phones were the most modern thing. Yeah, 1999 is when Maya and Francisca were born. So Nick and Edgeworth were 1992. They're older than I thought. What do you mean they're millennials? That's crazy. So yeah. So if they were born 1992, then the first game is 2018-ish. Yeah, 90s. They were born in the 90s. Crazy. Yeah, there we go. The first game took place in 2016. Damn. Yeah. So yeah, at this point, it is almost 10 years past when the first game took place. If, like, Phoenix Wright was a real person. Nick and Edgeworth were to be turning 33 this year. And if I remember correctly, Apollo Justice takes place in the 2020s. Yep. 2025 onwards to 2028. There we go. So yeah. Apollo had some great character designs. Oh, there are so many crazy cosplays for these series. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. You guys didn't forget about me, right? I know I'm just a lowly bailiff, but like I'm important too. I have a name. It's Billy. Billy Bailiff. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Really? It's Billy, sir. Sorry. He was born to do this, right? Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. Oh, okay! Damn! Anyway, ad break in like 30 seconds? Shush! Oh, Kagami! No, wait, it's not Kagami, it's Tagami. Mikami? Mikami. Mikaga? But yes, it is Kagami. Kamagi, what's your name again? It's Kagami. I'm sorry, what was that? You gotta be kidding me! In any other game, that would be considered flirting at that point. Especially the way he keeps going. It's like, so, do you have, like, someone to go home to, like, after all this is done? Like... Greatest joke in your opinion? Yeah, Uchikoshi, one of my favorite game writers for a reason. He's really good at balancing some heavy shit with some really good jokes. Isn't he making a new game soon? Yes! 100-Line Defense Academy comes out exactly a month from now. Wasn't there literally a line where Dante says something like, if only you were a pretty woman? I think so. He literally says that to Kagami, and he's like, yeah. And Kagami's like, oh my god, yeah, literally, same. Like, I'm like, yeah, you're right, because we just replayed that recently, and I remember being like, there's nothing stopping you guys. Bisexual people are a thing, come on. Like, you guys are only in your 20s. You're still discovering yourselves. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. It appears that his honor is still a bit dispirited. Crazy. Plus, I bet Kagami would get along with Aiba and the bullying. God, I saw a meme about Aiba recently where they said it's like they used a comment from a YouTube video, and it's like it's like they have the eyes of a neglected hamster. Like, oh god. That's a sentence. For the first time today. I need to remember that one, right? For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, better late than never. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, that's crazy, right? Just that he never thought about it. I think he's been sitting in the big chair for too long. He's forgotten what it's like to be amongst the people, so to speak. Francisca, there's no need to further depress his honor. Sure there is. It's time to bully the judge. But I'm not trying to, Miles. So, well, you're doing it anyway, girl. You're doing it anyway. Your Honor? He's not doing very good. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Yes? Your Honor. The evidence? He's like, what is happening here? I... Your Honor. Your Honor. Oh! Yes, can I help you? Bro did not even realize we were here. Lord help us. I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor. Do you think you could stay focused long enough to do your job? Sheesh. Shots fired. Nobody is safe now. You coming for your life? But he's so sad. He is truly very, very sad. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Okay. Very well. Well, in that case, please confirm that all pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included. So, please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Okay? Cool. Thanks. Bye. Understood, Your Honor. The two pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. Now you're cooking with gas, as they say. I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. Thank you, sir. Oh, we can move now. Cool. Wait, hold on. What's over here? What's over here? Evidence that Miss Yu prepared is just sitting here on this table. You know you can't just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rell in that case if he were still alive. What? We can't look at it. I know that is, like, technically illegal and we've got a judge looking at us, but, you know. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, correct? Yes, we could finally take a look at the evidence and not just data about them. Beautiful. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at the evidence from the embassy murder, too. This isn't your case, Francisca. Technically, this is not allowed. Like, I know you think it's allowed, but it's not allowed, girl. Oh no, is she the insistent character? She sure is, technically. But like, girl? This ain't your business. Rest in peace, Miles, literally. He's got a bad time. Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Oh, I see. Because... Edgeworth. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something! Rest in peace. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. Oh, okay. Forgive me, Princess. I didn't realize it was that serious. He's just a little lanky. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. You're not a prosecutor yet, though, girl. If She's not involved. He doesn't need to give her orders, though, right? Correct. She wants to prove herself, yes. She fully thought she was going to be put in charge of investigating the murder, and she's mad that her dad said, no, Miles, you do it. I'm like, girl? You're not even a prosecutor yet. Sit down. Also real to see the knife up close. She's like, oh my god, is that blood? Like, is that actually blood? Knife is left dirty? Because it was literally used in a murder. So, no, they can't clean it. Because that's evidence. Cleaning it would be considered tampering with evidence. Feels weird to us, but that is how it is. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it to be passed along to you. He said it would help in the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. If you say so. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too. Won't rest until we've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Okay. Let's see. All right. Organizer. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rel convicted down in here. Hi, Tsumaki! It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rel was the killer in the case. I mean... Jidichu wow wow. Hello. Bow bow jinakute. Wow wow. I love that. It would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rao was not the Yatagarasu. Now there's a shock. So these were provided by the real Yatagarasu? Apparently. Or possibly, I guess, yeah. That seems to be what it's saying. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. Why does he have that? It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Okay. Ominous. Just slightly. I believe Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rel may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove to Rel that... and he had a way to prove that Mr. Rel was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. Thank you for, writing all your stuff down, sir. Mr. Faraday's organizer data, jot it down. Jot it down in my organizer! I showed you my organizer, so I copied your organizer into my organizer. Thank you! Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here. It appears to be a key. Crazy! And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. What is that, a fan? It's a key, apparently. I don't know what it's supposed to be normally, though. Feels like a switchblade knife thing. Could this be the Yatagara's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? I can see how it would be like a fan, but yeah, it's apparently a key. The Yatagara's key. Detective Bad said something else earlier. What's different about this time was the evidence related to the smuggling ring. Was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kondobian embassy. The Yatagarasu. Thank you, Yatagarasu. What would we do without you? The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. Not this time! This was something only Faraday and I and a select few other people knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Photo of the key the Yatagarasu sent. It has a rather unusual shape. Oh, it's the knife. Duh. The pattern's almost identical. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. How conspicuous! I just didn't see it before. Makes sense. Yeah, it didn't click for me either until, like, you know, we finally exited out of that screen and I saw the evidence on the table and I'm like, duh! So, the key is also a knife. I was making, like, a joke about it being, like, a switchblade thing where, like, you know, you use your wrist motion to whip it out. Apparently, that's exactly what it is. So the key is hidden in the knife? That's what seems to be the case, yeah. Maybe it's like, you know, the Swiss Army knives where, like, you know, on one side it's the knife, on the other side it's the key. So imagine pulling out the key in a gunfight by accident. Oops. Does it got a can opener in there? That I don't know. They don't say. And it never crossed your mind that you can use your riding crop for the wrong purpose? He's like, you could kill a man with this. Could you, like, stop? That's odd. What is it? Does she eventually stop? No. Instead of a riding crop, she gets an actual whip, and she whips Nick across the courtroom. She just gets worse. Literally, when we were playing the game, Chad was like, Judge, there's a crime happening right in front of you. As Francesca's like whipping like Nick and Maya and stuff across the courtroom. Yes, she whips the judge as well, and yeah, no negative consequences. Because life is so unfair. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, still love the design though? Oh yeah! She gets the puffiest of sleeves when she's like 19 years old. When you remember that she's not even 20 and makes a lot of her behaviors make sense, but it's like, girl, you can't do that. I don't care that you're from Germany. They wouldn't allow this in Germany either. Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courtroom by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right? Who knows? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Unless your name is Von Karma, then like you could do whatever the frick you want. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is thoroughly checked for contraband. Unless your name is Francisca Von Karma. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. Hi, Pep. Yes, I know. Stream's almost done. You know when you can feel eyes on you? I looked down and immediately my cat meow. She's like, it's midnight snack time. Soon. I just want to get to a good stopping point, okay? She does not understand, but she's... That scared you? Sorry. I forget not everyone's used to it, but yeah. My cat, usually towards the end of stream, she starts being a menace. So the regulars are used to it. It's like, oh yes, there's the cat. I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. That's 'cause you're looking at it the wrong way. There's the alarm. Yep. It's like, yes. Just in case you plan to not feed her on time. Yep. God forbid that, I be like a little late or like something feeding the cat. however, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, we're gonna have to be real smart about it, Scooby. I can't do Scooby's voice. I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you've yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Not now, Francisca. We're still thinking. Can you calm down for a minute? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. That's sneaky, sneaky, sneaky evidence. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. It is the key. Whoops, wrong button. Doink. The Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. Huh. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. What if I don't want to look closer, huh? Just tell me the answer. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Good job! Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you've finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say these two pieces of evidence are, in fact, one and the same. The judge is just standing over by the door like this is crazy! But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate the possibility. Now then, let us examine the knife in a little more detail. Oh, yeah, we get to... Oh, these are clouds. I was wondering. I thought they were flowers. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The blade and handle itself both have beautiful designs worked into them. Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for warp murder, I'd want it for myself. Congratulations. Seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. True. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Well, that's handy. Can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon to use to kill Mr. Faraday was actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. So literally it is like a butterfly knife. Frankly, I'm shocked. Shocked and appalled. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that he even had no idea that the key was hiding a knife blade inside. That would be unfortunate. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, the key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Detective Bad? Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. Oh, the great thief Yatagarasu stabbed him. That makes sense. And maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarasu. He was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one impossible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier. Oh yeah, when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, he had no idea. I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else. And that person is the real Yatagarasu. Seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Ha 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 ha. Alright. Seems like a good time to stop then. We can pick this up next time. Boop. Da 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 da. Yay! Ugh. Where's the? Yes. Cat has settled in the corner, but her tail is thrashing about. So yes, she's like, I haven't forgotten about the food. Oh, you silly cat. All right, tomorrow we're going back to Atelier Yumiya and playing some more. I've been so looking forward to it. Game's been living rent-free in my head. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST for Yumiya. Now let's see who I can send you guys to. All right. I will give you guys two options. We've got Amalius, who is playing Minish Cap. And we did just raid into Uni yesterday, but she's playing Final Fantasy IX. Which I know a lot of people like, so... Any preference? Speak your mind or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, I will make a decision for us with the good old eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hard decision. I do like Zelda. Yeah. All right. Let me just triple check that Amalia's still going just because they've been streaming for like 7 hours. And the thumbnail preview says be right back. So just to be sure that is what's actually happening. Because sometimes it doesn't actually, you know. Okay, yeah. They're on a break right now, but, yeah, they're still on break. Okay, so we'll go to Junie then. It always feels a little weird to raid into a break. Because you literally don't know when the person's coming back. If I see it's an ad break, that's one thing. But when it's literally like a long be right back, people are playing like freaking Scrabble on their in chat. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit. It was a tough decision to begin with. Yes, had to make the choice somehow. So let's see if Junie has gotten over her addiction to the Final Fantasy IX card game. If you guys missed last time we raided into her, she got very, very into the card game because she kept losing. And so, like, I swear to God, 3-hour stream, 2 hours of it was her with the card game. She was very passionate about it. So let's go see if Junie has overcome her addiction. So here is the raid message. And here is Discord if any lurkers want to join. Those card games are addicting. They sure are. Welcome back, Ranger. We're just wrapping up. How did your chess game go? Did you win? Are you winning, son? You went to the semifinals? Nice! Good job! Yay! Applause for Ranger before we wrap up. Alright. We're sending the Moonbeams off to Junie to watch some Final Fantasy IX. So if you want to come along, by all means. Otherwise, everyone rest your eyes, rest your brain, all that good stuff. So for now... What's the word I'm looking for? That will be it for me. My brain has already, like, checked out. I'm like, what's my outro again? I don't remember anymore. If it's daytime where you are, have a wonderful rest of your day. Pet Pepper and Moku, of course. Pepper's right here because she's waiting for her snack. And if it's nighttime where you are, have a good rest when you head on off to bed. I think you do a bro fist or something. Seems reasonable. And until next time, take care of yourself. Wash your face, brush your teeth, eat good food. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye.